Good everyone, my name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. And today we're doing something the most cultural in the world, and that is, of course, poetry. With me in the studio is Julia Wilde. She is a translator and she also writes her own poetry. Julia, thank you very much for being with us. And since we are talking about Julian Tuwim, one of the most talented Polish poets, very hard to translate. And in the previous episodes, we were able, and you read to us his great locomotive, in also very good translation, I would say. I hope it has a potential to reach a lot of audience.
Okay.
I would like you to come to more serious of his, not children poetry, because of course Tuwim was also mostly a writer for adults, and he wrote, which is the most known, are Polish Flowers.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a long poem about, I would say, Poland, condition of Poland, elements of nature, politics, all together in one part. But I couldn't find any translation in this. But what is to English? But I would say what is Tuwim's beauty as well, that he is able to put sometimes very serious topics in a funny way, in a way that it's not radical, or it's not that it's easy to read and it goes. And I know you've prepared one of his poems called Socrates Dancing.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. So I think what you mentioned is very interesting, because he was an amazing person, very talented, and for sure not boring. Sometimes we think that poetry must be boring because it's deadly serious. But Tuwim shows us that it's everything but this. And as a matter of fact, he was known for his satirist. He was known as a satirist and for his very provocative poems and also songs. And he wasn't afraid to use vernacular language, to be vulgar, and to be very straightforward.
Yes, one of the poems is like to kiss my ass. Yes.
Oh yes. The title is poem in which the author politely but firmly implores the vast host of his brethren to kiss his ass. And yes, this is the whole title of this poem. Yes, and it's very very witty and very ironic, very sarcastic.
Also in a sarcastic way. Describing political situation in Poland before the World War II, yeah. And for example, and anti-Semitism growing in Germany as well, which of course he was deeply against, being himself a Jew, but Jew who felt very Polish.
Yes, I think it was a great problem for him, because he didn't belong really anywhere, because he, both sides, so to speak, felt that he was a traitor, and it was a great trauma for him, we can say, when we take a look at his poems.
Yeah, you see in his poems that he's struggling between two identities that he doesn't really know. Yeah. Where is he? But I would say he was both, and when it comes to language, and of course he wrote in Polish, the language is the master. I mean, in which language you write, and this nationality you belong to.
That's true. Besides, his family, he was born in Łódź, was a family of assimilated Jews who felt Polish, and it was actually the Polish who called him Jew, and it was very complex and complicated.
And I know that on his mother's side, his uncle was Arthur Rubinstein.
Yes, that's true. Right. Yes. Very artistic family.
Very artistic family. Yeah. Okay. So the dancing Socrates.
Yes.
A few words just for anyone who doesn't recall Socrates. Socrates was a Greek philosopher and I would say beginner of philosophy of a human being, who didn't write anything himself, and everything which we know about Socrates was through Plato. Yeah,
exactly. So he was a serious man, we could say, right? A philosopher, a great philosopher.
Ugly though.
Yeah, well, well, he had to compensate with his wisdom, right,
yes.
for his lacks in appearance, right? Yes, but well, we always, again, we think that poetry must be serious, and we think that philosophy must be serious, right? And here, Tuwim proves us that it's not true. So let's listen to the dancing Socrates. I roast in the sun, old wretch. I lie, I yawn, I stretch. Old am I, but full of pep. When I take a slug from the cup, I sing. My ancient bones bask in the sun's glow, and my curly wise grey head. In that wise head, like woods in spring, hums and hums a wiser wine. Eternal thoughts flow and flow like time. It's just a fragment, and it's in the translation of A. Gillow. And the poem in the original version continues to describe how he doesn't want to be serious simply, and he wants to drink wine, and he tries to convince his followers that they should also do this. And he's kind of a rebellious person here, and he's against all the rules and structures, and he wants to just lay in the sun and drink wine and have fun and dance, and he doesn't care that some people may think he's too old and he shouldn't do this because it's inappropriate. So it's very much in the style of Tuwim.
But in the feast, so in the Plato's dialogue feast, when Socrates is actually drinking the whole dialogue, it is written at the very end that all the guests who were drinking along with him went to sleep. And Socrates, even though he was drinking the whole night, he stands up, he washes himself, and he is then walking the whole day and making philosophy, and then going back to sleep in the evening. So he's described as a person with a very strong stomach and head.
That's impressive.
Yeah, as
a real party animal, we could say, right?
Yes, and of course a person who knows the most about love, because the feast is all about love. Yeah. But there is an element of satire in Socrates himself, of course, and I guess that's what Tuwim trying to underline there. That probably
yes.
There were days where Socrates was really drunk, just sitting somewhere. Yeah. Not anyone cannot be serious 24 hours every day, the whole life.
No, that's impossible, absolutely impossible. But yes, I remember that once one of my friends in high school claimed that the philosophy was invented in Greece because they were drinking wine all day and sleeping in the sun, and they had a lot of free time. So that's the reason.
Free time was an element of this, of course, because most of the philosophers didn't really need to work.
Yeah.
Especially the greatest ones, so Plato and Aristotle, they both come from pretty rich families. Yeah. Okay, Aristotle became a teacher of Alexander the Great later, but I would say it's a noble pursuit.
Yeah, quite prestigious, one could say.
Yes, and Tuwim, of course, underlines all of this, and it's a great start to talk about lots of other beautiful things. That's the power and that's the magic of poetry, and I do hope that our audience do enjoy it and see the beauty of poetry, because when you read one poem, you become thirsty for more. And you become hungry so much that you want more and more. That's the beauty of it. So I do hope that you get more yourself. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.